They were saying we were murderers, killers. We shouldn't be there. Given the reasons that I found later to be real, the reasons for our being in Vietnam was not these noble reasons that were given.
I don't know why we have such trouble differentiating the war from the warrior. You can hate the war, but why hate the warrior? He's doing what's asked of him, or her.
I think part of you is forever lost, but there's got to be a landing zone somewhere that we can go on from. You'd think we'd be there by now, but still a lot of guys that haven't found their way home, I don't think.
The idea came last October. A lot of PBS development managers got together and really we're talking about things that we can do to impact the community, which is what public broadcasting is about. One of the things that came out of that is a lot of documentaries being done right now about Vietnam veterans and having them share their story, which a lot of the vets haven't been willing to do. And a lot of the individuals that are younger in their 20s have no clue what happened during the Vietnam War and the atrocities that were occurred when they came back. So the very important thing for us was to share those stories.
A war that was not, or a conflict that was not well liked. A lot of people were against it.
And I began to think about it. I guess we weren't welcomed. There was a negative. We didn't talk about it. We just came back, we did our job, and we started our families, or continued our families, and built a life. And here it is 40 years later, and fortunately, we're seeing the young men and women being welcomed back from today's conflict.
I've experienced both types of comebacks. LZ, Michigan is more important to me than you can ever imagine. For I can see from talking to other vets, this will start a healing process that many vets have been seeking for a long time. And for some, it comes too late.
And I remember staying in formation, and what we had to do was we had to come to attention and take our assignment and say, yes, sir. And there was kind of an anxiety about it. But then they called off my name, Private Hardiman. I came to attention. It said Southeast Asia. I saluted and said, yes, sir. And all the weight was lifted off because I knew where I was going. I didn't have to worry about it anymore.
What can I say? Have forgiven the government, for what they did to us and betraying us, And then when we got back, the treatment that we got. But what happened then? This is a different story. It's water over the bridge for me.
I was 18 when I went there, 20 when I came home, felt like 40. Those months left me with many memories, some good, others that are just now coming back. This welcome back will help me personally deal with feelings and memories that have been buried deep for over 40 years.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a long time overdue, but I think it's really great that people are coming out and giving us our welcome that we're supposed to have 40 years ago. We took our uniform off when we got to the airport. That was it. And they always told us, don't travel with your uniform on, because we weren't welcome. We weren't thought of as heroes, or just we were thought of as baby killers, and that's what we were branded with. And a lot of people wouldn't even talk to us.
I know of veterans that will have nothing to do with anything. It's the bitterness is embedded so deep. They don't want anything to do with any kind of veterans organizations or anything like that. They don't even want to talk military, VA, or anything. They're just so bitter. Those may or may not be changed, their attitudes, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's not talked about, a lot of teens just don't listen, and my generation especially, a lot of people are ignorant of what the veterans sacrificed for us, how it was like over there.
It gives me an official and formal opportunity to recognize, to remember, to respect, and to honor the men, the women, and the families of fallen soldiers who have left your home, your family, your country to fight for our freedom.
What has come about is musicians to come on board. We've got the 2008 Spirit of Hope Bob Hope Award winner coming up from Nashville, Tennessee to sing and perform a little bit. We've got essayists from around the state of Michigan that have won national awards for essays about veterans and high school kids that are sharing their story and honoring those veterans. We have a poetess from Detroit coming in, a lot of speakers, a lot of people that are now willing to share their story, because what we found through doing our own documentary too is that these veterans that are now welcoming home, the vets that are coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan, those vets that are welcoming home are Vietnam vets. They never got their own welcome home, and yet they're out in the mud and the rain and the snowstorms welcoming home additional vets, and that's a huge thing. So we now progress with meeting monthly or every other week, and we have about 100 people every time. Putting this together, a motorcycle rally has come out of this to do a Thunder Patrol in front of the Grand Rapids Home for the Veterans, the largest vets home in the United States.
Came back here in their 20s, nobody shook their hand. There weren't no flags a-waving for those coming home from Vietnam. Unfortunate to live through the stories they won't tell. So if you should ever meet one friend, I hope you'll wish them well.
There's got to be a landing zone somewhere.